Hey guys, it's Carissa here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Inky Fairy Designs. Today is Mixed Media Monday and I have a fun video for you today. Kind of a first look at some products that Ranger Ink sent me. So they came out with this gel plate at Creativation this past January, and I was super excited that I saw this as I was like stalking all of the Creativation posts because I wasn't able to go this year. And I was very, very happy that Ranger sent me this little package. So it came with this bag, which is just kind of like a swag bag, and it's got all of their logos on it. So this is what they sent me. They have the printing brayer, which is so cute. It's pink. It doesn't stay pink. But anyway, they've got the gel plate marking tools. So you've got 3 different mark making tools that you can use on the gel plate. We've got the texture combs, which there's 3 in the pack. And you can see the different styles that they'll make on your gel plates. Just 3 different kind of textures that you can run across. And then we also have this gel plate conditioner, which I haven't used it, but you can use it, I think, to kind of clean the gel plate. I'll have to mess around with that and let you guys know how it works. But this is this is what they sent. This is the gel plates. There's 3 in this set, and we've got a 3.5 by 6 3/4 inch, 5.5 by 11 inch, and then a 3-inch circle, which is super cute. So just fast forwarding through the supplies, you're going to need some paints. I'm picking out some Dylusion paints and some Dina Wakley media paints, of course. You're going to need something to print on. I'm going to do tags today because I'm just playing around. You're going to want some stencils and then your mark making tools. Basically, that's what you're going to want to have on hand. I'm going to start this video out slow, real time. Slow. Not slow, but real time. So you can kind of see how the thought process is. So this is how the gel plate comes. I'm starting with the smaller tag, which fits the Distress ink, or not the Distress ink, but the Distress tags number 8 size perfectly. And it has like a top sheet and a bottom sheet that the gel plate sticks on, and it's sticky. And so I put it on my mat so that it would stay still while I'm doing all this stuff. And just to let you know, that brayer isn't going to stay pink. It's so cute pink. I love it. It's so cute. But it's not going to stay pink. I mean, it says to wash it off right away. But usually when you're gel print or mono printing, basically, you're doing a ton of prints at once. And you're not going to stop and clean your brayer off like underwater, soapy water after each time you put paint on it. So don't worry about that like I did. I was like, oh, it's not pink anymore, and I tried to wash it off and it was just stupid. So it's not going to be pink. It's going to be whatever paints you guys are using, and that's okay because it's still going to work. And I do rub it off on a journal page to get that excess paint off. So basically you put a couple different paints on your gel plate. Just put some dots around, and then you just rub it out, smooth it out with the brayer. Kind of roll it around until you're happy with where your paint is. And then you're going to put whatever you're printing on, like I'm printing on these tags. And then it didn't fit the whole thing, so I put like a scratch piece of paper, just some plain printer paper on top. I use the Squeegee, but you don't need to. You can see I don't do that later on. And then there you go. That's the first print. And you want to let that dry. And you can also pick up the second print, which is called ghosting. So when you're taking up that second print, because there's still a little bit of paint left on that gel plate, they call it like the ghost print, and you'll still get a really cool effect. So once I peel that up, and then I'll peel up the second tag, and you'll see it's a lot lighter. It's not completely covering the tag like the first one. So I think I'll show you here. This is just my Dina Wakley Media Journal. This is an ugly, ugly page that I cannot stand. And so I decided that I was going to just rub my brayer on there after every time I get a new color, and that's it. It's just going to be like a junk page. And it actually turned out really cute. So just showing you the two different sizes that the Dina Wakley Media paint comes in. We've got a 2-ounce tube and then the 1-ounce bottles. And the 1-ounce bottles are super cute, but there's only 1 ounce of paint in there. So if you want to see the 2-ounce bottles come back, there's rumors that they're going away or they are going away. You can email Ranger Ink and let them know, and better yet, pick them up, because, you know, there's a reason why those are not sticking around. People aren't buying them, but I like them. I like to have the more paint. I'm apt to use it if I have more of it. So anyway, here we go. I'm putting down another couple layers of paint. I'm putting down a stencil this time using that first print that I made. And then over the stencil, I'm putting that tag down, and you'll see that it's only going to come up through that stencil. So there we have another layer on that first tag. So now I can take the stencil up and get a different look by laying down my second tag on there. And so I'll get like the negative of that stencil that's left on my jelly plate. So it's pretty cool. You can play around with different stencils, different techniques with your stencils. You know, get a first print, a second print, use up that paint. I think I even go in and take up the third layer, because not all of that paint, you can still see there's some paint there. And so I'm going to take a third tag and I'm just going to put that on there. I'm going to rub it. I use the brayer a little bit to kind of really get that in there so that it'll take up that paint. And there we go. It's very minimal, but hey, we've got a first layer on there. So I'm going to speed up the video from here as I'm doing very much similar techniques that I've already showed you in the real-time portion of the video. Here I'm just doing some mark making onto the paint layer that I have, and then you can see sometimes I will just tap portions of the tag into the jelly plate to just get some of that texture and color on just certain areas of my tag. And you can do this on a full page, or if you're working on tags like this, it's really easy to just kind of tap it, and that way you don't have to do the full coverage if you don't want to. So I'm just continuing to add different colors of paint onto my jelly plate, different stencils. I'm working with the same 3 tags here on this smaller jelly plate, and you can see here using the same colors, the same stencils. I've got 3 different prints just from different stages of like first print, ghost print, sometimes even third prints. So you can get some really unique looks even if you're doing multiples of the same colors and stencils. They're all going to turn out different. So here I put in some blues, and I used the texture combs to add a little bit of design, and I went in and added that, and just added some more layers to these. They're getting to be a little bit overworked at this point, I'm realizing as I'm looking at them. So I decided to come in and just get some white paint on there. I'm going to add a little bit of some circles with the texture tools. And I learned that this is a good way to push back all those layers, kind of tone down the busyness if you've gone too far like I have, because I'm just learning here. I'm just playing and trying to figure out what do I like, what don't I like, and adding that white layer. I still see all of those beautiful colors underneath, but it just really softens it. Here I went in with some orange over that blue layer just for a little bit of contrasting color, and then I added some blue back to my jelly plate even though I still had that orange on there, which is a little bit risky because those 2 colors could definitely turn into mud. But I did some mark making with that texture comb, added it to my tag, and it actually really worked here. I love how this tag is turning out. Went ahead and did the ghost print on another tag, and then I'm going to spritz the jelly plate with some water and do a new tag, and it gave me this really watercolor effect, which is pretty cool. So now I'm taking out the larger plate, which actually fits the Dylusions size 10 tags really well because it's really long and narrow. And now I'm going to play with some of the Dylusions paints. And I pulled out the white paint, and you can see I kind of had to rub it with my finger. I haven't used these paints in a long time, and it kind of gelled up or got not hard. It's still paint, but it's just thicker than it normally was, but it's still usable, and it actually gave me a really cool effect because I had to go in with my fingers, and it was similar to the backgrounds that I would do in my journals instead of using the brayer because it wasn't really moving that white paint around enough. And I just like how that tag turned out. So then I came in with some yellow, which is a contrasting color to those pinks and blues on that tag, and that was pretty risky for me. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but I really like that tag. Actually ends up being my favorite by the end. You'll see how it comes together. So I'm adding some of this orange and pink together and did some more mark making with the combs, added that onto a new tag. And then I went in with that other tag and just did like portions of it, like pounced different areas like I showed you earlier. Something I like to do when I have a lot of colors on a page is add in some black accents. So that's what I did with this stencil here. I just added some black to my jelly plate and put a stencil down, and then added some of that to my tag. So here's the tags after they've dried overnight, and you can see some of them I did both sides. I can decide which side I like better. This is the watercolor tag that I did where I spritzed some water onto the remaining paint, and it just created this really cool watercolor effect, which I'm going to be playing around with that some more, and hopefully I'll have another video coming up showing you different watercolor techniques you can do with the gel plate. Here is the one that got really busy, and I added a layer of white over it just to tone it down, and it really made it really soft and pretty. This is the tag that I went in with that thick white paint, and I had to smooth it down with my finger, and I like this one because it looks like some of my journal pages where I do the fingerprinting. And so that, just don't be afraid to use whatever tools you have, even your fingers, when you're doing these prints. And this is the tag that has those contrasting colors, the layer underneath with the blue and the purples, and then some yellows and oranges on top. And that ended up being really my favorite tag out of all of these, and that was really going out of my comfort zone when I did that one. So play around with your gel plate, and you will come up with some really different things that you might not have done normally, and it can turn into some of your favorite prints. I wanted to try the stencils in a different way, so I put on the paint through the stencil onto the jelly plate. So you can see here the stencil paint is on my jelly plate, and now I can go and just add some white to my tags. It's similar to when I add black to a page. I also add white to a page just to give it some more interest and texture and kind of tone down maybe if there's so much color on there. This will give it some white space. And I really like how you can apply your paint through the stencil when you have it laying on the gel plate, and then just kind of add your tag on top, and it just gives you a different way to use your stencils with the gel plate and some different print looks. So this is, like I said, this is my favorite tag out of all of them, and I just like the way that the white makes everything, like it just brings all the colors together. So here's a look at all the tags that I created today using the new gel plate by Ranger Ink. I really had a lot of fun playing around with this, creating these different backgrounds. It kind of took me out of my comfort zone a little bit, but I think that is where a lot of fun things can happen when you try new things. So I hope you enjoyed this video as well. Be sure to give me a thumbs up if you did. I will be back on next Monday, for another mixed media video, taking one of these tags and putting it into a completed project. You'll see here the tag that we're going to create next Monday for the mixed media video, and I'll have a link to some other mixed media videos that you might want to see on my channel here. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll be back Wednesday for a Watercolor Wednesday video. Until then, bye.